Hello, my name is Emma. I am of course on the art community side of TikTok, and recently I've noticed an uptick in people mentioning Xiaohongshu art tutorials. My For You page was flooded with artist work before and after using Xiaohongshu with impressive progress very quickly. I was intrigued to say the least, but I had no idea what this was. Was it some amazing artist online giving tutorials that miraculously help you improve overnight? Not exactly. Turns out Xiaohongshu is a social media app in China that isn't dedicated to art, but has a very helpful community of artists within. A lot of the artwork posted will give you a step-by-step progress into how they created the piece. The app also has regular Instagram-y posts with a TikTok-styled scroll feature like most social media apps do nowadays. I'm sure a lot of you knew about this already, and though I can't understand the language on most posts, I do like it. When I looked further into this on TikTok, I was surprised to see a bit of controversy surrounding people posting videos like these. How could a person making their art how they want it to look be bad? And is this evolution of skill possible so quickly? I wanted to find these things out. So in this video, I will be following some tutorials I found on this app to see if I can really improve my artwork in such a short amount of time, as well as the different takes people have on TikTok about this situation. Let's get started, shall we? This first piece of artwork I'm creating will be the control piece, so to speak. I don't think that's the right term, but you know what I mean. I wanted a drawing I could redraw at the end of this video after I completed the studies to see any difference or quote-unquote improvements. If you are new here, welcome. I draw a lot of my characters. I'm literally addicted. These two characters in particular are from my redesigning middle school OCs video. That video was more than a year ago, so I decided to brush up on the main three, Margot, Jane, and Emmett. Though these are not final, I'm just playing around. I swear, I don't look at Emmett's face. That's just not him, okay? I swear. I'm not going super deep in this video lore-wise, but I am going to be talking about Margot and the unnamed character I'm drawing here a bit. I redesigned Margot the most, mostly because she was my least favorite out of the group visually, and her design was a bit annoying to draw because of her hair. It was just too large and it was hard to draw her aside the other characters. Margot is a very introverted and awkward person, so I wanted her design to reflect that a little more. The other character in this piece has no name. In this universe, Margot, along with her two other friends, are rogue time travelers who at first want to go back to normal after accidentally stumbling upon this mysterious book that transports them to the wrong time period, but eventually realize that they can never be normal again and embrace being together, trying to avoid the creatures like him. This character is a shapeshifter and is known as a caretaker. Caretakers are inhuman who pose as humans to make sure things in the timeline stay correct. They stand posts at timeless places such as schools, libraries, and churches, like him. Their human form for his post is named Father Simone, and he is assigned to take care of the time criminals. Caretakers act very unnaturally and detest human emotion, and humans in general, they find them imperfect and meddlesome. Margot and his relationship is very interesting. I wanted to really build up, That's all I'll go into for now. I love talking about my OCs, but I feel like maybe I go a little too much sometimes. But if you want to know more, stay till the end. I will be info dumping. I wanted this piece to show both of his forms as well as Margot's struggle. Though she's a bit scared of him at first, she does grow to understand him and help him embrace having emotions when he's not really supposed to. I felt extremely proud of this, and thinking of redrawing it was a little intimidating, but at the same time, I really wondered if I could progress enough to see a difference. The first study I did, and I'd say the most popular on this app, was eyes. I went over some ones I found interesting and just dove in. I do really enjoy trying to replicate things as close as possible, so this was very satisfying and relaxing for me. I always find the way I do eyes a bit boring, so it was cool to look closely at eyes I find inspiring and break them down. As you can see, I did a pretty wide range of styles, and it helped me narrow down what I wanted for myself. I know I really like big shapes and rich colors, and I was really excited to apply that in my own art. So after I did the eye study, to further practice and apply it to me, I did a quick piece with eyes as a focus. I do this after each category. Studying something is one thing, but actually applying it to your own art can make you actually see progress if there is any. These two are my characters, Bella and Charlie. If you want to know more, watch these videos. Even though this is pretty simple, I absolutely love the way this came out. It's very profile picture worthy. Their eyes are so juicy. That's the only way I can describe it. The one weakness I see and have struggled with for a while now is hair. I wouldn't say I'm the worst at drawing hair, but it isn't something I particularly enjoy and often get pretty confused by. I just feel like I'm never doing it right. So the next study I went for was, of course, hair. These tutorials lack a lot of variety and textures. I didn't find any others than straight, but I'm sure there's more out there. There's gotta be. I just didn't find them. I need to practice hair in general. All types of hair. Doesn't matter. So I'll just take this as a jumping off point. In drawing these made me realize I really appreciate going as simple as possible with shapes and shading. I really admire people who can achieve such an effortless look when it's not effortless at all. I think where I most struggle with hair is where to put highlights sometimes. Shading clicks for me, but I always end up doing a little too much on highlights. Literally everything oiled up challenge. Anyway, all of these tutorials were lovely and made me rethink a lot about how I draw. By this point, the way I was drawing didn't feel like me drawing at all. A very weird feeling for sure. I think that's how a lot of artists probably felt in these TikToks. I'm definitely late to this punch as usual. The internet moves very quickly these days. Hell, animation memes are back and you can barely get one done before the trend dies in 3 days. But there's so many I want to do. As this app grew more known on Art Talk, anybody sharing their progress were met with some interesting comments. Some were saying an angel lost its wings, the art is soulless now, it's lost its originality, and on and on and on. Personally, I think you should just draw what you want. It's your art, you can make it look how you want. I do get where these commenters are coming from, and it's the internet. Everyone has their own opinions, but in a lot of these posts, it's very clear that most of these artists are beginner artists, and a lot of the art journey begins with emulation. Look at my old art. Do you see anything familiar? Kids today have freaking Xiaohongshu. Me, I had Sonic 99 Ray and Animated James, alright? So the TikTok art community has been going back and forth on this a bit. It's not that crazy, but I do think some of the reactions are a little overblown. The TikTok art community doesn't have the best reputation. We know this, and I think it's only exemplified by the TikTok algorithm. A post hating on something prevalent but harmless in the art community will blow up, while a person just trying to get their artwork seen will get pushed to the wayside. I don't see this as the user's fault at all. I actually see it more as the platform's fault and the culture surrounding the internet nowadays. It seems that anything worth talking about nowadays has something negative attached to it, and I'm just tired. It's exhausting sometimes. And let's just be happy. Let's just hold hands. Let's just frolic and chill, please. Doing these tutorials boil down to practicing art, studying art you like, experimenting. All good things in my book. But to really apply these methods, you have to put in the work and practice them efficiently. Of course, it's not magic. But in the end, you're drawing. I think that's all that matters. I drew Anne Shirley from Anne of Green Gables. I'm making my way through this book series. Yes, I'm very obsessed right now. Yes, I want to talk about it a lot, but I won't, I promise. I absolutely love this. I don't know if I'm that proud of the hair, which sucks because that was supposed to be the focus, but I love the face. I love the eyes. Very random, but I was just drawing what came to mind for these. Alright, we got eyes, but what about the rest of the face? Mapping out proportions is another struggle in itself. If you don't struggle with angling a face, I think you're a liar. I'm just kidding. I practiced one full face tutorial and then focused on the nose and mouth as well. The face is my favorite thing to draw ever, so I didn't do that many tutorials. I felt confident enough after this. All the blush and the contouring and making expressions, I eat it up every time. So I was really excited to draw my own. I didn't get the practice as close to the originals as I would want, but I didn't worry that much because I still felt like I was learning regardless. Alright, so for this one I drew Emmett. Emmett is a part of the time travel crew and I haven't drawn him in a long time. I think I forgot to explain this, but everyone in this group is from a different time period and their friendship is very unlikely. I really need to work on what Emmett's face looks like. I don't know if it'll be this. It probably won't, but I want him to be way more distinctive. When I designed him, I was very much in the depths of same face, and I still am, especially with men. I tend to gravitate towards similar features, which is fine, but I do need to change it up. So Emmett's, he's just experimenting with like some Botox, lip filler, eye lift, all that kind of stuff. Emmett is from 1808, so he's a Regency man. Everyone calls him a Victorian man, which I think is funny. I like that. Emmett has a thing for girls who speak their mind, specifically ones from 2006. Someone's obsessed. Jeez. Emmett's personality has changed a bit over time. Not much, but a little. He fronts as a stoic and solid man, but he's really an easily shaken, sappy, and hopelessly romantic person. I really feel like I didn't draw this one. I'll be real. It does not feel like I did this. If you told me I drew this a week ago, I wouldn't believe you. I love the way the eyes came out, but I think I need to work on it a little bit to really apply it to my style a little better. I really love this one. Hell, I put it in the thumbnail. The last group of study was the body. Body is tea, no, body is boba. This was the most varied in tutorials I did a more feminine one, abs and legs. Random, I know, but I did legs because getting the knees right be hard sometimes. I should have picked a more focused area instead of doing random things, but oh well. My favorite one is definitely the stomach. It looks so juicy. The way this artist shades is just so, give it to me. I want that. I want that for myself. I really wanted to draw one of my neglected OCs. Maybe ones I made a while ago and never draw. But to be honest, I don't think these guys are ready to come back yet. They need some work. I wasn't ready just yet, so I went with Theo because I wanted to challenge myself a little bit doing a more bulky man. But I'm sure even that's debatable. Theo is my cowboy. He's the other half to my clown character, Ruth. I adore them so much. They're such fun characters, and I'll never, ever get over them. Simple concept. Man is sleepy. One of my favorite things that some artists do is render one thing heavily while leaving other things simple. It's such a cool look, and since I was experimenting, I thought, why not? The effect is harder than it looks to achieve, as usual, but I don't think it looks bad. I don't. I think it's fine. It's whatever. By this point, I was feeling like Rocky when he climbed up those stairs or whatever. Yeah, that feeling, I've never seen that movie, but I imagine that's a good comparison. I felt ready to tackle this piece again and truly see if I improved. I made the rule that I wasn't allowed to look back at what I made before. This was purely based off of muscle memory and the previous version of this drawing. The first thing I did was change the pose just a bit. for 2 reasons. 1, to make this a little more varied, and 2, to change around the concept a bit more. I wanted to improve the composition as well, just to see if I could. When I began drawing and doing line art, I felt a bit like nothing had changed. That's to be expected. I didn't practice much line art at all, mostly coloring. It really clicked in when I laid down the first pass of shading. Then it started to flow better and I could see how my thinking changed over time. Alright, let me get into these 2 a little more, just for those who stuck around and wanted to find out. This is for you. I also need to explain this to give you context to my thoughts and changes, so it's technically necessary. So caretakers are very against human nature, and they detest emotion when it's not needed to fix things in the timeline. Though for some reason I have it in my head that they're in love with musical theater, kind of the human extreme, right? But I guess it makes sense. They basically boil down to actor aliens, and they're pretty bad, so hypocritical as well. He basically goes against everything caretakers are. Even though he seems unfeeling and is, he can't help but have sympathy for humans, especially when he has to eliminate them to fix the timeline. Father Simone has been assigned to eliminate the same person over and over again, and that person looks like Margot. Now, take what I'm going to say next with a grain of salt, because I don't know if I'm actually going to do this idea, but I'm really excited about it and I want to share it. Long ago, humans and caretakers worked together to keep the timeline in check. Human caretakers had used books to move about and would basically do the same thing as the creatures, just in a different way. Caretakers saw this way as inefficient and decided to eliminate this branch entirely from existence, shrouding the caretakers in mystery, putting them in the background. No one knows they exist, and no one should know they exist. Margot's dad was a human caretaker, and before they were wiped out, he took baby Margot and placed multiple versions of her in different years in hopes maybe one of the babies would survive. The caretakers didn't find out about this until it was too late and have quietly been fixing the problem, or trying to. But this girl, this face, has imprinted on him. He has eliminated the same girl countless of times in countless decades. That's why when he's assigned to these rule breakers, he's the most intrigued by Margot. Margot is one of the last remaining babies that survived, and by this point he has strangely become obsessed with her. Margot is a major geek. She loves fiction, she loves comics, she eats up science fiction, fan fiction, any fiction. So let's just say when she finds out paranormal aliens exist that shapeshift into other people on this planet, she's pretty gagged, okay?
Wig, okay.
Wig, did you just say wig?
Yes.
I know, wig. I feel that already.
She's living her fantasy. Margot is scared of him, but she also wants to understand him. And I think that's where their relationship starts to grow. She's also just trying to convince him not to turn them in. Is their relationship platonic? Is it romantic? Either way is correct. I want them to be really ambiguous. I've never really explored that kind of dynamic, and I think it's fun. I feel like this idea is a little bit silly. Is it too out there? I thought I'd share to see what y'all think. I know it probably doesn't make sense in the time travel aspect. I haven't worked that out. Give me a sec. But if you have suggestions, I'm very open. Please let me know. I changed the composition and poses because I wanted to show a bit more of Margot's struggle in pleading with his more sympathetic side. While his caretaker form is more forceful and yanks her away, his human side is more soft and remorseful. The more he's around Margot, the more his emotions come out. He just can't hold it in anymore. But it's still different than how humans are. He's always going to be different. He's not a human. But I have a little idea that is random. I'm just throwing it in there because I've had this idea for a while. I just have this vision that he finds comfort in a mirror and shifting to appear as Margot when he's alone without her. I'm crazy.
I'm crazy. I'm fucking crazy.
I don't know, it's just so like angsty and kind of sad. I've made the caretaker form in this piece posed more unnaturally, more janky, which I think works a lot more than the first. I almost forgot to add Margot's freckles, which have become a big part of her design now. They're more scattered over her body than they used to be in her first design, and I want them to represent all of her lives lived. Very simple and subtle detail. Alrighty, here's the final piece. And now, let's compare. I still like the first drawing. I think the expressions are strong and the line art is clear. However, the second attempt does feel more grand in my opinion. I think it does have to do with the zooming out a little more. The pose and values are much clearer in my first attempt, but I simply cannot get over how much I love the flowing hair and how it blends into the black in my second attempt. Those hair tutorials did make more of a difference than I thought they would. I think the eyes are just a little more interesting on the second version overall, but I do like Father Simone way more in the first drawing than in the second. His expression is just perfect. The second one just doesn't read as well. So, did Emma Artley improve her art in 1 week? Tell us, Emma.
I don't fucking know.
No, I'm kidding. I do think in some areas, yes. Is it that much of a difference realistically? No, but that's okay. I am a seasoned artiste who is stubbornly stuck in her ways, so anything to break me out of that even a little bit is a win. Maybe you'll seem to improve in one day, but to really keep it up, consistency is key, always. I just want to say I think we need to be a little bit kinder and less judgmental in the art community. A friendly suggestion or critique is much better than trying to be like funny or something. I don't know. I don't mean to be preachy, but let's just have more fun in 2025. Yeah. This will be my last video this year. I'm going to be in hibernation until next year, folks. Just kidding. I'll probably be posting on TikTok and Instagram, so follow me there if you want to see stuff while I'm gone. Happy holidays to whatever you celebrate. This year, I'm going to ask Santa for this video not to flop. Do you think I'll get it?
What? No.
Okay.
You'll probably see a couple of changes to the channel when I come back. Don't worry, it's not drastic, but new year, new me, right? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, thanks for listening to me yap for this beautiful year. It's been so crazy, and I hope to see you all next year. I hope to keep on creating and doing this if I can, so thank you for everything. You have made this possible. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next year, and as always, peace!